Welcome to our presentation on MEDIAL, a scalable and secure video solution for Moodle that allows teachers and students alike to easily add and record video. If you'd like to check out how the MEDIAL Moodle plugin lets Moodle admins quickly and securely add video capabilities to their Moodle LMS, you can visit medial.com/Moodle. There you will also see information on how MEDIAL's Moodle plugin can be used to allow students to respond to video-based assignments and receive video feedback via the gradebook, and how lecturers can easily add video course pages and create video assignments. However, today's presentation is designed at showing, in addition to the aforementioned feature set, how MEDIAL can act as a secure and highly integrated solution to managing your Zoom workflow and assets within Moodle. In just a few minutes, I'll show you how MEDIAL's Moodle plugin and Zoom integration can solve the issues you are likely experiencing with effectively managing the explosion of content being created by your teachers in Zoom, the associated issues with the cost of storage, and the problems with making all of this work within Moodle, giving teachers the ability to manage and edit their content and students the ability to have access to the content longer term for on-demand viewing or revision. So first, let's talk about some Zoom basics and the common issues with using Zoom for teaching and learning in an LMS. As you are likely aware, there are two ways of recording content in Zoom, either locally to your computer or to the Zoom cloud. In the instance of recording locally to your computer, what you end up with is a good quality and useful MP4 file. However, you also end up with a question of where to store it. In Moodle, there are various ways of making media available through the Atto editor as highlighted on this slide, but none of them are ideal in terms of security, storage, or content playback. It is very easy to simply upload your MP4 file to Moodle using the inbuilt file upload capability in Moodle. However, the content is then delivered by the Moodle server, which isn't built to be a media server in terms of effectively streaming the content back to any device. Adding lots of large media files to Moodle also creates problems for your Moodle admin. The Moodle file management interface also makes it very difficult to effectively manage your media content ongoing. That's where MEDIAL comes in. The key difference being that when you upload content through the MEDIAL button or activity within Moodle, the content is being uploaded onto the MEDIAL platform, which uses industry standard streaming and playback components to ensure smooth delivery and playback, and the content is not stored on Moodle. The file is also transcoded so that it can be delivered to any device and to users with varying connection speeds, rather than with Moodle, where the original file is simply uploaded directly to Moodle with no transcoding taking place. Unlike the Moodle file management function within the MEDIAL workflow, all of your Zoom recordings end up in the content management system that is built for admins of media. And that's where editing, deleting, or purging of content are just a few clicks away. So now that we've seen how MEDIAL can help with a simple use case of finding somewhere to put your MP4 file when you've recorded it to computer, let's look at scenario number 2, where you can record a meeting through the Zoom cloud. This is a much neater way of doing things, as there is an endpoint for your content. However, there are still issues with this in both terms of content storage, security, and management. How do you make your users delete their content? Are they going to be shocked when their content disappears based on a content retention policy of automatically deleting content after a certain amount of days? The pandemic has meant that running lessons through Zoom is commonplace, but now this has created a huge storage problem for many teaching establishments. Students highly value having these lessons available for on-demand viewing after the lesson, but storing them in the long term is very, very expensive proposition. So how can MEDIAL help? MEDIAL Zoom integration means that all content recorded to the Zoom cloud can be automatically put in the trash once it has been ingested into MEDIAL and made available within your Moodle user's account. In the meantime, let's talk more generally about what MEDIAL's Zoom integration does for an overall organizational perspective. Admins of the MEDIAL system can access the Zoom settings by clicking on the Zoom tile in the MEDIAL admin UI. From there, they simply add some API settings from the Zoom developer side and enable the integration. The key setting highlighted here is the one which removes Zoom recordings from the Zoom cloud once they have been ingested by MEDIAL. Admins can also choose to retrospectively download content from Zoom for all users from the last 30 days. Once activated, the admin must decide which Zoom users' recordings they want to be ingested into MEDIAL and end up in the corresponding person's personal media account in Moodle. Users can be imported into MEDIAL via CSV file, or you can simply search for the user. The key thing here is that the email address of the Zoom user must match that of their user account in Moodle in order for the content to successfully find its way to the right person's personal media file in MEDIAL. All content from all users is available in the admin's overall content management interface, so they can easily move it from one folder to another if a match isn't found. They will always have the ability to edit, delete, or download here as well. MEDIAL can also be configured to allow publishing of content to Media Library, which is effectively an internal YouTube-like solution, so content from the Zoom cloud can also be made available within this interface as well. Now that we have seen the basics of how you can connect your Zoom to MEDIAL, let's take a deeper dive into how MEDIAL's integration dovetails with its Moodle plugin. Zoom has its own integration with Moodle. Its old plugin has been succeeded by its LTI Pro integration, pictured here on this slide. It's fairly easy to set up if you are a Moodle admin and also have admin access to your institutional Zoom account. However, it has some key shortcomings. By clicking on a meeting link, you are immediately taken out and away from Moodle. There is no ability to embed the meeting easily in a course page, and the meeting itself is not editable if you want to trim it down, take out bits, or even create chapters from it for easier consumption. Also, to my earlier point, any content linked to here is on the Zoom cloud, and as a result, very difficult to manage and costly to keep, especially given you have very little idea what is useful and what isn't, down to the lack of analytics. To give you a rough idea of the kind of bills that you could encounter, here's some pricing from Zoom's current plans. 3 terabytes may seem like a large amount of data, but it soon adds up as teachers record long sessions and naturally are protective of their content being kept online for their increasingly isolated students. Thousands of dollars a year with no real way of tracking or knowing who is watching the content means that it's really fairly unuseful. So with this in mind, let's see what your teachers could do once they have recorded their meeting and it's been ingested by MEDIAL. As with most Moodle plugins, MEDIAL is available via a button on the Atto text editor. Once you click on the button, you're presented with a multitude of different functions. You can upload a pre-recorded file, you can record your webcam or your screen, you can look at media analytics, and you can search for existing media files as well. The Zoom recordings themselves end up in the user's personal media area for existing media. You'll see here that a number of Zoom meetings have ended up in my personal media area. By clicking on select, I'll be able to embed this recording in the text editor. And by adding it here, I am ensuring that my content is secure. The MEDIAL Moodle plugin uses LTI and means that this content will only work within Moodle by default unless there is a desire to make it available elsewhere. In addition to this, and unlike Zoom, the content is made available at a range of configurable qualities and streamed using adaptive bitrate technology so that users on varying connection speeds are accommodated for. Closed captions can also be requested for accessibility, as well as playback speed for more rapid viewing for students within the lesson. You can also edit your Zoom sessions using MEDIAL's powerful in-browser editing feature, again without leaving Moodle. Here you can trim, chop, and even create new standalone media assets from an existing recording as a destructive or non-destructive edit. And finally, to conclude, MEDIAL provides powerful analytics for teachers and admins alike on the actual usage of the Zoom recordings. Teachers can see an overall view of all their media assets, as well as look at each individual clip in terms of overall engagement of the entire audience, and can even see details granular as individual student engagement with the meeting or media asset. If you like what you've seen and think MEDIAL is a fit for your organization, there are a couple of different versions of our software to fit different models and budgets. One is the MEDIAL solution, which includes a whole lot more than just the Moodle plugin. It also offers the complete video-on-demand library, the ability to deliver live streaming, amongst many other features we haven't had time to review today. The pricing for MEDIAL starts at just under $4,000. If you are just interested in the Moodle plugin and want to run this solution in the cloud, there's an alternate version called Media Lite, and pricing on that starts at under $200 per month. Visit our pricing page on our website at medial.com/pricing, where we can explain the options with a comparison of what each product includes. You also have the ability to do a free trial of the Media Lite system, connect it to your Moodle system for free for a period of 7 days, and try it out before you buy it. If you need any further details on our Moodle plugin, you can visit medial.com/Moodle.